Hello everyone, gonna do another matches review. So this one is for Inusaiya, and they have 4 games. They want to see, what do they want? They want to know for some help. They often feel like they're falling behind, so let's see what we can do about that. Okay, look at the screenshot, see what matches they are. Okay, Inusaiya, uh, they're these. Okay, a little old, but no worries. We can do them all the same. Okay, Inusaiya, what are we playing? We're playing a nice little cash out, Lizard Army villain in the game, and Venture. Okay, so, well, first things first, we don't need 2 gate guards on wave 1. We can build one of them. And second thing is you would almost never ever want to build a gate guard in the split. Gate guard's more of a carry unit rather than a tank unit. He gets a lot of value out of getting a second summon, so you always want him on your main side. So something that would be much better this game would be you're basically 4 workers on 2, you could be 5 workers on 1. On 2, you can build a pack rat or 2 gargoyles. And then on 3, you should also be fine with. You could build another gate guard or some gargoyles, depending on what you built. Here, again, I mean, we can talk about. I mean, you can look at my video about how to position, but um, generally, something a lot better would have been like, the Garg same height, third column, and then the other Garg. Well, you have a gate guard in your splits, so that's already a problem, but I mean, to begin with, first things first, don't want to be plus value. Like, we can hold here with not plus value. Uh, Anyways, not too big a deal though. Here, the crab guy doesn't want to go down here. The crab guy is a ranged unit, but he summons a melee, so he might as well be the same height as your other melees, right? Like, you're just wasting time on the crab running up. It would be much better if he was just next to the gate guard, or just right behind him. Okay, you leak your guy with the fiend. Good job. We managed to hold this dino. Play 4, then we push. We do hold another dino. Probably it's fine. I mean, you brought the boss here. You probably didn't need to build more than just one looter here, I'm going to be honest. Okay, here we get another sense. We push. Uh, yeah, like, again, these rats being in the back, not where they're supposed to be, right? Rats are very bad units. They don't really do much, so they want to be tanks or in the ground. So you'd rather them be ahead. You could also have added even split here, or upper split, so it would go right, but whatever, you held. I'll hope that these imps are not after income. If they are after income, I would definitely want to do something like that. You can just go wave 7, or if you really think you can leak him, you can just send Robos instead, because sending in after income is a huge risk. One, they could hold instead of pushing worker to no send and not building properly. They already have good units for wave 6, so something like wave 7 could make a lot of sense, or just trying to leak them 6, but if they hold and you send after income, it's already bad. It's already bad if you send in income and they hold. It's like super turbo mega bad if you do it after income because you just lost 1,000,000 gold sending after income. So don't do things like that. If it is an income, then you need to send after income. Like, you always want to send full if you're trying to leak someone with a power mark, right? So here, I mean, going 1 king up, not really sure I understand it. I mean, he's very weak on 7. Like, I would prefer to just send again income or send full. In any case, let's see what's going on here. So you hold here. I mean, after you hold that brute, like, it would make a lot of sense to just hunt here. You're looking a lot weaker on wave 8. But anyways, not too big a deal. You're building, you're holding. You leak your guy. It's good. If you look at this value, I would be much more inclined to send full. So even if you do send just 2 dinos, like, adding a robo to this is worth it. He's very low value, and you can always. It's important to build a good habit to keep hitting tap space to see their build, see their recommended value. Okay, so we're pushing a little bit. Again, yeah, you can be pushing more, but you definitely. That will also come if you fix up your build so that it's a bit cleaner. Here on wave 10, I mean, yeah, you have bad units on the wave. Another thing is, like, you're going for this OT setup. Would make a lot more sense. Oh, I see. You turn into a King Claw. I'm just saying, like, you would want all your units to be on the aura. Like, you want the crab to be on the OT eventually. You want your harp to be on the OT. You probably want the green devil on the OT, even if it's not the greatest, but it's some value. Okay, so anyways, guy builds a bunk. You go for a GK and Lizard Army. I would say a very risky decision. If he's not a bad player, which I suppose he is, there are many worlds in which he can end up with a Haven here after building a bunk on wave 10. So I would definitely not go GK. He has one, there's villain in the game, so GK is not that good. But he has disciples, which are good against GK, a bunk that's good against GK, so sending damage makes a lot more sense. He doesn't do very good damage to the wave right now, so tanks don't make that much sense. Because the wave isn't doing good damage against his units, so something like a 4 Eyes makes a little more sense. And definitely, well, in this case, I understand why he went K up he went GK, but it's fine. Okay, so we go for that lizard army. We keep building. I mean, again, don't really want to keep playing Overvalue, but you do have bad units, so it's all right. Here you go to Turbo Leaker guy. Shaman is not a good set on 13. Like Shaman buffs the wave units. The wave units are like he's very likely going to build units that are good against the wave. So something like a bunch of imps here would be good. Something like a ram into the split against his disciples could be good. But probably Shaman not it. Here, you're definitely way too overbuilt. I mean, you aren't that bad here. Probably hunt like a couple rats. You just got to send. So here, we're plus 80 again, which is fine. As long as we're planning to go for some leaks here. Here, you end up leaking. I mean, again, like, there's no reason to build in the split. You want all your units together, right? The stuff in the split is things that will just die. The things you want all your units together to maximize their DPS. They want to hit the same stuff. Here, in terms of your send, I mean, your send is fine, but like the reason why you don't leak your guy that much is like for some reason, you don't need to stay plus 80. Like if you want to send 15, on 14 you want to be undervalued. So like you could legit hold, hunt like I don't know 2, 3, 4 rats here, or just keep your 2 rats up and just push even more. You don't need to build this green devil for worth, for example, and then you would be able to send a lot more, something like more in the range of like 600 or something. And then in terms of the 2 dinos, they don't really help, right? You want to send probably something, a power merc, like a pack leader is probably already way better. If you get to something that does some damage, then maybe that could also be good. But anyways, you guys have their king very low, so now the important part is you kill them. If you look at their builds, they're not looking very strong on with ATM. They're not looking that good on 17 either, to be honest, but so now, I mean, you're plus 400 and plus 110. Like, you cannot leak when you're this overvalued. And the reason why you do leak is, like, your build kind of, no flame stinks. Like, the positioning is just not very good. We have a DPS Haven, which is a unit that wants to tank at least something. A bunch of crabs that are just kind of vibing down there. There's no real, like, damage deal on your board, really. So, not a lot of things that could be better here. And then after this, I mean, yeah, you can't leak the income. I mean, your units are your plus value, so you think you're fine, but like your units are horrible, right? Like you have not a single unit that's good on this wave. And you do push to try and send the shaman to leak them, but yeah, I mean, if you didn't hunt, maybe you would hold long enough to win this race, but yeah, rough game, to be honest. It also looks like your teammate, for some reason, just like forgot to send full on 17, so maybe you just would have killed him there if he did that. But all in all, I mean, like, it seems like your biggest mistakes are just like you don't build very well. So if you can polish up your early game building, that would definitely already be a huge improvement. Oops. Let me just go back into that game a little bit. Yeah, I mean, again, like early game, you can build better, you can push harder. That would probably be the main thing that's wrong so far. Here we go. Is it cash out again? It is. Okay. So we go for the crusher. Yeah, I mean, with cash out, you really want to try to be more aggressive. Wargun 2 isn't really accomplishing that goal. And then another thing is that work is too high. You want your crusher to tank a bit more. Probably that work should be 1 square down in the right wall. But a much better build with your units would be like crusher on 1 in the 3rd column, then aqua on 2, and then on wave 3 you can go 6 workers and get a fire archer or an infiltrator. And then on wave 4, I mean, as the build develops, you have to make your own decisions. But here, I mean, I don't like building units on like half columns. You can just leave him on the wall. He's probably fine. You can also leave him 2nd column. 1.5 square down is also a decent spot for him. Here you go double king up. Pretty much never want to do this. You always want to go snail king up rather than double king up. you deny yourself 6 gold from not setting that snail on income, and you deny your opponent 4 gold for not killing the snail. So you just lose gold. And if you think you're better than your opponents, which you should, then you would rather have gold than they have. You having gold is more important than denying them gold. Again, range units, just not taking advantage of good positioning, right? Range units want to be in the front because they can tank early game. Here you go for an after income brute. Or maybe it was an income, but yeah, whatever. I mean, if it was after income, it's like huge risk. I wouldn't take it in general. Again, like all sorts of things. Can't build Dark Mage early. Dark Mage is a unit that buffs other units, so it gets value out of buffing things. It doesn't get value by being a good unit itself. And yeah, I mean, this Buckler, one, it's built in like a block built position. You always want your units to be cleanly positioned. Another thing is your overvalue with good units here. Like, probably don't like need a lot of these units to hold here. But I mean, at least you know which way the boss goes. That's not a bad start. But yeah, like position can be way cleaner. I mean, I can show in sandbox like pretty quickly. I mean, you're like basically playing overvalue. We don't have to. Yeah, I mean that's like the main thing is like in your early game, like you're block building, you're building fire archers on wave 8. These guys basically don't want to be in your board. Like the last wave you'd ever want to build a fire archer is probably wave 6. They just don't scale well because a lot of their value is in their healing, which doesn't do anything in the late game because they just die too fast. I mean, here you do something like go for a mole, but then you also go for a cannoneer. Doesn't really make sense, right? You want to send if you're trying to leak some with the mole, then you want to send full empower marks, not like a cannoneer and 2 king ups. So something like mole, brute, 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 something like that. Or in this case, just mole, brute, brute. Here you obviously leak on wave 9 because you don't really have upgrades, you don't really have units that are good there. Like your aquas are dead value, your dark mage still isn't buffing anything. You have 2 fire archers, just a lot of dead value on this wave. Here you get Zeta, so you're fine. Again, don't go full king ups, always go income and then king ups. Here you guys start saving, you go 13. And again, you don't really have a lot of workers, so your send on 13 is just not that big. And then you still leave 13 even with good units because you have a lot of dead value here, a lot of dead value. I mean, the Dark Mage is good value now, but like 2 Fire Archers that are DPS and then 5 Aquas, right? That's already 250 plus 80 plus 80. It's like 400 value that doesn't accomplish anything, right? So that's not good. Basically, it means like instead of you're basically you're not minus 250, you're minus like 600, right? So it makes a lot more sense why you leak so hard. And again, going regions doesn't make sense here. I mean, if you're expecting ascend, expecting the leak, you want to protect your king, then you go king attack or king spell. If you want to leak your guy because you're sending power bricks, then you should send full like a robo here. And here you guys skip 15. I mean, you are in good value, so it makes sense to skip 15, but your build isn't very good. Like orchids don't go in the split because then they have to hit krakens, so you always want all your damage dealers on the same side. And yeah, I mean, you guys do live here, so you have a chance. Yeah, you can't go Shaman on 16. Shaman's not a good send. Again, it buffs the wave. But the wave kind of sucks on 16. There's a lot of creeps. The Shaman doesn't do that much, so you would much rather send something like a Ram versus this build or some sort of damage. Like, I don't know, a Needler or a Centaur, 2 Centaurs. Basically just missing damage in your send. Here you go Shaman. I mean, here the thing is, like, they're very overvalued. You're pretty much on value. They want to go 19, right? So if you want to go 18, you have to push a lot more than what you do. In fact, you push 0 workers to 16. So you can't expect them to leak here, right? They're going to be on value if you don't push workers. And then, obviously, since they hold 18 and send 19, you guys die. I mean, it pretty much here. Like, I can go to sandbox and just like show like how to build that opener or how to position that opener, but the main thing is that you don't position well early game, which means that you get outscaled very hard. Sending is kind of whatever. Like, probably could send more, but like, yeah, you're breaking your guys sometimes. Like, it's not the biggest deal. So what were units again? Like, so first things first. So like, we have Crusher, Aqua, Infiltrator. Here's how I position a Crusher. Oops. Aqua. Then go 6 workers. You don't have to go 6 workers. Maybe you're a little more scared or you're not confident in your positioning. Oops, sorry. In any case, you can go like Fire Archer here for wave 3, or like if you, like I said, aren't confident, you can do something just like super simple. Just go like Infiltrator here, build like a split here, or second Aqua. Oops. Oh my god, sorry. You can go second Aqua like here, for example. Then wave 3 and then wave 4. I mean, depends on what happens, but like for example, like in your case, you go to Send, right? So you can definitely push harder. Maybe just build one Infiltrator. Or, you know, in your case, you also had the Buckler, right? So like, or the Warg. Either of those would be fine. Another thing, no, you don't really want Buckler and Warg in the role together. They both pretty much accomplish the same thing, being a natural tank. So maybe you build the Buckler here, and then on wave 5, let's say you get skipped from wave 4, you get the Fire Aqua. Then maybe you get save on again, then you have to go like another Infiltrator, etc. But then as your build develops, you know, you probably get the Rogue wave, you want to get the Orchid upgrade out, you want to get the Alpha Mill eventually. Wave 10, you want to get the, where is he? You want to get the Zerker, and then on 13, you want to have the Fatalizer. You probably need to protect your Aqua a bit more as the game progressed. But that's just a build that will let you push a lot more with clean positioning with Aqua tanks. The Infiltrators on the same side, the only thing in your split should be tanks. So that's pretty much it. Hope it helps.